Ladies and gentlemen, NGS Season 7 is finally here. Second night of our new season. We have a B East matchup. Two teams that were in B East last season. They know each other very well. Jailbait and Reborn Knights Black. Joining me, my buddy Fox. Fox, how you doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm excited, man. It's been a long time in coming. In the off season, I was like, the off season's going too fast, and now that we're here, it feels like season 6 was a lifetime ago. So the ebbs and flows of the NGS life, but here we are. We have two teams, all in lobby, ready to go. So let's talk about them. We have Jailbait will be our blue team, left-hand team today. These teams finished 5th and 6th in the standings. Both of them actually got bumped out in the first round. So very similar seasons last season these two teams had. They did play once. It was a 2-1 in favor of Reborn Knights. And you kind of reviewed that series today, Fox, and you said you picked up on a few things. So what are we going to see here?
Yeah, I was watching the game earlier at like double speed, trying to get as much information in as I could. I think between these games, I think Diablo is going to be highly contested. So we'll have to watch out for that. Now, Jailbaits, I believe, does not have their tank from last season. So I wonder if whoever is tanking for them will still prioritize Diablo like they did last season, though. Yeah, that's gonna be the biggest thing. Now Reborn Knights will also probably be looking to pick up Zeratul as well. Those are some of the biggest things that I noticed.
Yeah, the other thing, flipping over from Jailbait to Reborn Knights, is you'll notice we have, those of you who've been around NGS for a while, we have some Divine 9 flavor over on Reborn Knights. Rabid Penguin played with these guys last season, but this season, big off-season pickup, adding Phantoms to the roster, assuming he'll be on DPS once again. He was the DPS player in Season 4 with Divine 9 when they won all of B Division, B West, and then the Grand Final. So somebody that knows how to win. He was definitely one of the key players on that team, so that's a pretty big pickup for him. He plays a wide variety of heroes, but back then he was had a reputation for playing a pretty mean Kerrigan. That was kind of the thing that people started to take away from him. So really interested to see what Phantoms has to offer after taking a season off.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we'll see that if we by chance go to Infernal Shrines during this series.
So let's talk about Volskaya Foundry. I know I like Sylvan here. The Merc Queen applies to the turrets. It makes those turrets really powerful. Anything in particular you're looking out for here on Volskaya Foundry?
Well, we know that the Sylvanas can be extremely strong here. Aside from that, it's going to be a really long, drawn out battle, so you're going to need a lot of sustained damage. Yeah, it's just going to be about, I think, camp control, and this game is very early game, so picking late game heroes can be a little problematic.
Yeah, that's one of my complaints about Volskaya actually is because the map is so dependent on the toy collection, what you grab, when you grab it, holding more turrets and Healy beams than the other team. If you get up and you can bully them off of that, but it makes your advantage even greater, right? You're up in level, plus you have more items than the other team. So getting up on Volskaya Foundry is a big deal. You don't want to take too many heroes that you have to wait to come online, because by the time they do, it could be too little too late.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree with that.
All right, so it looks like we're pretty close to ready. Hopefully these guys press the button. We can get show on the road any moment. Hopefully, like, so close.
Maybe we should tell them that we're ready.
I already did that.
You did? Okay.
There we go. All right. All the R's came out. The countdown has started. And we are going into draft on Volskaya.
Yeah. Now I just want to point out that last season in their matchup, Jailbait, I assume they picked this map. But they played it first round, and Jailbait, that was the one game that they took off of Reborn.
Interesting.
So
So with Reborn Knights picking first, this is Jailbait's choice of map. So they chose to play here. It's the you mentioned the map that they had success against the Knights on last season. Sylv, first ban coming out on Volskaya. Zeratul, always worth banning if you know they've got a Zera player. Quickly, a Maiev response coming out by the Knights. Early bans tend to go fast because teams know what they want to get rid of if they've done their homework. There's nothing to adjust to. Alarak, the last ban out. Who are we going to see first pick? I think it's coming fast.
Diablo.
Interesting. Now, worth mentioning, Anubarak is still up.
Yes, he is, which might lead them to take something like Anna, because we do have 2 tanks available, and they do that.
So first pick, Anna, for Reborn Knights. Good call, Fox.
So here, I don't know. Do they take the tank here? They do. Okay.
Anubarak, Jaina. I think it had to be Anubarak, right? You couldn't let the Anubarak slip. And Jaina is pretty solid, like always. There really isn't a situation where I wouldn't want a Jaina on my team. Just always solid.
I think she's the most solid mage in the game. I think we're gonna see Reborn take Diablo here if they want it. This might be their last chance to take it.
Well, let's see.
No, they're going for the ETC instead.
Interesting. So, worth noting here, Fox, Rabid Penguin, when he played on Divine 9 with Phantoms a few seasons ago, if my memory serves me right, I think Jay is in chat, he can correct me. Rabid Penguin was the tank player, and then last season it was always confusing to us. He was on damage. It just looked weird. We were so used to seeing him on tank, but there he is, right back on his ETC.
Yeah, on the game I watched, Crafty Devil was the player playing Diablo.
So Rabid Penguin, back onto his tanks. He was always known for the ETC, so that might take away that Diablo prioritization you were looking at here. As we get a Junkrat ban coming out for Jailbait. Reborn, their last ban, they're going to take out the Tyrande. I like that ban. Tyrande into Anubarak is very strong.
I think a Rainer here could be pretty strong for I'm sorry, their name is
Jailbait.
Jailbait. I think Rainer would be really strong here for Jailbait. Reborn still needs an auto attacker could be good for Reborn, so taking it now, you're enabling him with the Jaina and you're taking it away from Reborn. And they do it.
Yeah, I love that pick. I completely agree. And then the Blaze, so even more slows to proc that ace in the hole. Fragstellar with the Rainer is going to have the perma-proc on that particular talent there. And a big front line. And not showing their support till last. With Anna already taken for Reborn Knights, they figure they can get whatever they need to next. Last 2 picks coming out for Reborn Knights, and they haven't shown Phantom's pick yet, so let's see how spicy we get here. It is going to be Zul'jin, that's fairly spicy, and a Leoric. So both sides going with double front line, a mage, an auto attacker, and a healer. Pretty standard meat and potatoes comps to open up game 1.
That is.
I mean, very similar comps in construction, type of damage. It's pretty straightforward.
Well, I think it's very standard as well. To have your mage, your auto attack, your bruiser, your tank, your healer. I think it's pretty common. So, but I really do think that both of these teams are drafting very well.
It's kind of like early in a boxing match, where they're kind of feeling each other out a little bit. I think that's what you got here. They're going to play standard, they're going to play straight up, and they're going to kind of feel out the other team to see where they stack up. Do we need to get out anything special, or can we just draft standard and beat the other team? So
right. Do you have any whose draft do you like more? Do you think one team will win over the other based on draft?
Well, they both have what I would say are top tier supports with Anna and Anduin. I am a little bit concerned about ETC can get worn down by a Raynor player who's really on it with auto attack. However, Leoric post 20, if they get there with the Buried Alive, is an absolute monster as well. I could really go either way. I think maybe if you held a gun to my head and made me pick, I would say Jailbait, just because I think their front line is a little bit more durable. And Cocoon is super strong.
Yeah.
The flip side of that is not too many Mosh interrupt. You have the stun or the Q from Raynor and a Nubarak.
Yeah.
But that's it.
I really think that this Raynor player is going to be make or break for Jailbait here. A Raynor can be really obnoxious when you're playing ETC. If he's really on top of his Qs, he can stop you from sliding in. He can interrupt your mosh pit. If he's hitting the same targets as Jaina, he'll be exploding targets. So I think Raynor is going to be the man for Jailbait. Just saying, and I gotta stick with Jailbait for the overall. I think they have a solid front line, like you mentioned. I think they got the priority on Mage and Auto Attacker. I think they have the better of those two, and this is their map.
All right, well, let's introduce our teams. Jailbait, the blue team, Cawthon on Anubarak, H2O on Anduin, Fragstellar on Raynor, Galaxy on Jaina, and Kobo on Blaze.
All right, for Reborn Knights, Red, Rabid Penguin's going to be on ETC. Crafty Devil's going to be on Leo. The Pie Maker is going to be playing Kael'thas. Phantoms on Zul'jin, and Zul'Skeeto is on Anna.
And for all that great analysis we did, Fox, what we didn't mention, though, is Reborn Knights Black is clearly going to win this game because their Portrait synergy was simply stronger.
Oh.
Off the bat, what I notice is the Globe talent from Blaze at 1. If you're going to go Combustion, you almost have to take that talent to use Unstoppable on your Combustion so it doesn't get interrupted. They go together really, really well. So I think that Globe talent at 1, the name that is escaping me, New Habits on Blaze, at least opens the door to Combustion.
Yeah, I can't really comment on that. I don't have too much knowledge on Blaze, so I'll trust you there.
Yeah, because one of the problems with Combustion is you start charging it up, you interrupt it. It still goes off, but the longer you charge it, the more effective it is, right? So if you just interrupt it straight away, the impact of the heroic is very minimal. It goes on a cooldown regardless. So the Globe quest on Blaze, once you get it completed, allows you to use your trait and makes you unstoppable for a short period. So you use your trait to go unstoppable while you're charging Combustion, so you get full effect out of it.
I gotta be honest, I thought that was baseline, that unstoppable.
It is not. You have to take the talent.
Okay. Everything else looks pretty standard. I don't know what's standard for Zul'jin, personally.
I don't either.
I think maybe Headhunter doesn't contest with this talent. I'm not sure.
So we didn't talk about, both teams already grabbed the turrets. So good prioritization there. Bottom lane is pretty even. A little solo lane is a little stale right now.
Yeah, I'm really glad to see these teams pick up the turrets so early. That just means that they'll be available again during the objective.
Yeah, and Top Camp also grabbed very early by Reborn Knights. Maybe too much, so Jailbait can come over here, clear it out, and then secure their own, so they will have push during the objective. But aggressive move here. Grab the Penguin on ETC sliding in. Nice shotgun by Fragstellar to disrupt the initiation, and everyone gets away clean. But nobody has grabbed this Biotic Emitter, and they are really powerful. I'm surprised neither team has shown a lot of priority into grabbing that healing beacon.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There could have been a potential to take it, because you know that someone is on their camp, right? So at best they could have contested Bio with 3 people from Jailbait. But yeah, they didn't go for it.
So top lane, this will... Actually, neither side has cleared them out, so this will cancel each other out. It is Reborn Knights right now who is building up the objective percentage while Reborn Knights actually clears the top lane. So they're going to choose to forgo the first 50% here while they clear out the top lane and go on to the biotic emitter. There we go. And red team continues to charge the objective.
Yeah, they're scouting it out, though. Let's see. They're coming in on this.
And now Blaze is furthest away, so Reborn Knights will have full numbers first, and Anubarak getting chunked out really hard. Great pull by Anduin, but Anubarak has to pull back. I talked about how squishy ETC was, but Anubarak is actually a little bit squishier, and if Zul Jin is allowed to just sit there and wail on him, he will not be able to hold a point like that.
Yeah. Now, Reborn Knights doesn't need to take this right away. They can kind of back off. They have the percentage. They can just do their camp again.
ETC in a lot of trouble, able to get away, but Cawthon also taking a lot of damage as well. Both teams trading haymakers here. And, as we get closer to that overtime mark, we're going to see some fireworks here pretty soon, I think, Fox.
Yeah, I think so. Jane is in huge trouble right now.
And she does end up being first blood. The healing totem was put down with the turret as well by Reborn Knights. I didn't see Jailbait use it, but I also don't see them have one, so I assumed that they did, and this first objective almost definitely going to go over to Reborn Knights. Looks like Jailbait will back up and concede. They're about a 3/4 level lead. Sending Phantoms to bring this turret camp down. I love taking that right now. They actually started it before the objective popped so they could grab it, and that's going to end up with them having a second turret when this next objective goes.
Yeah. Yeah, good play by them.
And this is what we were kind of talking about before. If you get the lead, you can set yourself up to lead even harder. If you get a big enough lead here on Volskaya, you can basically fight in it as at an advantage for the entire game.
Yeah, it is early game. Just for that reason, it's all about the toys. And right now, looks like Reborn is playing for the toys a little more. I mean, they only have a turret, but it could add up.
Well, not just the turret, but they're also going to get level 10 here. That will allow them to get the support camp if they wanted. But Jailbait really shredded that Triglav protector. It did very little damage. I don't even think it got one single tower. It did not get the Sippy Cup in top lane, which is typically what you target when you get the first objective. So pretty solid defense there by Jailbait.
Yeah.
So both teams securing the bruisers. They will clash in the top lane. And now an invasion coming in, but they're too late. They're going to catch Jaina here. She's a little too far forward. Aggressive positioning by Reborn Knights. Great pull by H2O, saving Galaxy from the aggressive invade by Reborn Knights. That's the power of Anduin, but that also is a really long cooldown. I think it's about 1.5 minutes.
Yeah, that was a fantastic save. Props to H2O there. Now we have ultimates coming out on both sides. Do we want to take a minute and talk about those?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and hit Jailbait here. We do have not Light Bomb. That's going to be the first thing we talk about. It is Holy Word for Salvation. Hyperion. Bunker Drop, so no combustion. Ring of Frost and Cocoon.
Yeah, and on the side of Reborn, we have Mosh Pit, despite the Anub and Raynor. It might work out, though. That is only 2 interrupts. Leo taking Entomb, standard. Kael'thas taking Phoenix. And we have Guillotine from Zul Jin. And then finally we have Nano Boost.
And there is Rabin Penguin on his ETC out of the Cocoon, immediately catches 3 in a Mosh Pit, and save that situation from going from bad to worse. The Cocoon onto the ETC, set up the Ring of Frost, and Jailbait able to take out Anna. Rabbit came out of that Cocoon and Mosh Pit like 3 or 4 members. Otherwise, that could have been really bad for Reborn. But Anna will be up in time for the objective. They will have 2 turrets. Jailbait did secure the biotic emitter, so it's actually 2 turrets versus 1 turret and emitter. And level 13's coming up here for Reborn, so I imagine they're going to try to soak for that and then fight with the 13 advantage. Well, I agree with you. I am very skeptical of the Salvation pick. I have yet to see it. Actually, I lied. I saw it earlier today in the East as well, funnily enough. Almost Legends Ruby took it against Die Hard, and it was reasonably effective, but a lot of interrupts between ETC and the gravity lapse. And the sleep dart even as well if Anna wants to step that far forward. Speaking of stepping forward, Blaze in a lot of trouble, forced to pop the armor, but he is really low. Bunker goes out as well, as is Cocoon. There's the dive. Haven't used the biotic emitter yet. He finally uses it right before he dies, but there's Holy Word Salvation fairly quickly interrupted by ETC, and that's why we were a little hesitant, Fox. It just didn't last long enough. Blaze and Jaina went down as soon as Rabid Penguin power slid into Anduin, and the heroic was interrupted very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not going to get enough value if it only lasts a half a second.
You know, I think H2O almost has to wait out ETC. You know, the other interrupts are on the back line. They kind of have to step forward to do it, so it is a little dicier. But if ETC has power slide up, you really can't use that ability. You have to wait for the power slide. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Reborn Knights taking another turret while Leoric just kind of stands and channels the objective. I would like to see Jailbait step on here since they know they were in bottom, but a little late. Crafty Devil just rotates away, waits for his team, and here we go again. Blizzard goes down on the wave. Crafty Devil looking for that entomb. Everybody's heroics will be up in 5 seconds. So this will be good. There goes onto the Rainer, Rabid Penguin. He also drops the turret. Gravity Lapse catches him in a cocoon, but he immediately pulled out by Anduin. A big double stun. Cawthon on the back line, landing on Kael'thas and Zul'jin. They're very low. Both sides actually very low. Bunker comes out, but nobody falling quite yet. The Nano Boost went out too, but Piemaker was under so much pressure that he didn't really get a lot of value out of it. Cawthon actually double stun the backline onto a Blizzard, and both sides limp away and ready for round 3. This time it's Leo and ETC onto the backline. Jaina in a lot of trouble. She goes down. Rainer forced to use the conveyor belt to try to get away, and he will, but with Jaina going down, maybe a Nubarak as well. He is. He's caught in the cocoon, and Burrow Charge is down, Fox. He's going to have a hard time getting out of here, but just enough.
Yeah, the ETC's really making a lot of plays here. Catching the Jaina out, that was pretty huge.
Well, in seasons past, Rabin, he made his name on ETC. That was his hero, so I'm really not surprised. And, you know, second Rock'em Sock'em Robot, and the momentum definitely favoring Reborn Knights here. 5 kills to 1. And now they're taking this objective to the bottom lane while Leo does his best to double soak, and they're going to start prepping this bot lane for the next objective. Very close to 16 as well, Foxy.
Yeah.
So Anduin is not here. He's working his way down, a 4-on-4 for now.
They need to get this well here. It looks like the gunner is targeting it, so there we go.
Yeah, Rainer doing a really nice job of just wailing on this Triglog Protector. Actually, both of the Triglog defenses, Frag Stellar has been really good about just keeping his damage on the Triglog and making sure to melt it out. But here's the turn. Big chunk damage onto the back line. The little glove goes out as well. Leo is not here, but 16 is here. There's the guillotine. Takes a massive chunk out of Rainer. But he was pretty healthy, so he kind of just backs it up. And now Reborn Knights looking to step in again with 16.
Bit of an interesting pick from Anna at level 16, not going for the 3 charges of Healing Dart. Instead going for sharpshooter, which is just stacking it. Ring of Frost missed everyone. That's the first time it didn't hit anyone. Calaxy's rings have been amazing this game. But that time just missing, and Reborn is gonna walk away for free because of it.
Well, no, they're not going to walk away. They want this turret, and I love this move. Power slide into a short mosh pit, but it might be enough despite the quad jet propulsion. Holy Word Salvation on the backside got a little bit of value, but not much. Reborn Knights still looking for more, and they get it. Blaze goes down. Leoric took a little nap in the cocoon, but he retreats. Guillotine unable to secure the final kill. And a little bush party there, but Reborn Knights using that level 16 advantage to take out Blaze and get another turret. HTO he's been really good with those pulls. He's saved his teammates 2 to 3 times at least, that time saving Raynor out of the Entomb.
Yeah. Reborn Knights has the opportunity to take a bio-emitter, but instead they're going to opt to take the bottom fort. I don't know if they have the opportunity again.
They're coming up now. Looks like they're making a play for it. And Jailbait, maybe sensing that rotation was coming, just backed up. And Biotic Emitter will go over to Reborn Knights. I assume they'll go get their turret here shortly after.
I think seeing Blaze might have been the deciding factor there for Reborn.
Okay.
And
they're coming in with no Blaze. There goes Anubarak. He's getting chunked out hard. This time Ring catches 3. But I don't think it's going to be enough as Blaze is just now arriving. Guillotine chunks Raynor, but this time Holy Word Salvation gets a little more value before ETC comes in and melted. Rabid Penguin getting melted as well. And once again, everybody chunked out, but nobody falling. There have been a couple of times where these teams really throw down, and not a lot has happened. That's at least the 3rd or 4th 5v5 where both sides have kind of walked away.
Yeah. These rings have been great, but they're just not able to follow up on them, unfortunately.
Until now. Kel'Thas going down. Nice pick there by Jailbait. Now they're really trying to stick in there. Triple stun on the jet propulsion. Rabid Penguin under a lot of pressure, able to get the big face melt to buy himself some space. Now they're turning on the Blaze, and they get him again. Great counter kill and great pull again by HTO Fox. Johnny on the spot with that leap of faith.
Yes, he is.
Because Leo has had some good entombs, but that leap of faith has been so good. I like this play here. They know they're same tier 4-on-4. This is a good fight for them to take. Calaxy just under so much pressure from Crafty Devil, and it's Anubarak, Jaina both fall. Now 9-2 in the kills department, and it feels like Reborn Knights is just maybe a half a step faster, a half a step better in these fights, because that's really where they're winning these games.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that fight either. They're losing in level, right? Reborn's about to get level 20, and they're losing in the toy war. So Reborn almost has all the items. So, you know, Jailbait really was forced to make something happen. Unfortunately, it didn't. It's going to be hard to come back in this situation.
Yeah, I agree. I actually liked the call, because if they take that fight on even talent tiers, which was a good fight, and they win it, not only do they keep the turret out of Reborn Knights' hands, but maybe they get a couple kills, close the XP gap, and get some turrets for themselves. Obviously, it didn't work out, but that was about as good of a situation as they were going to get at that point in the game.
Yeah.
So the least favorite of anybody's objectives here on Volskaya Foundry is the Lazy Susan 3rd objective, the merry-go-round 3rd objective.
Yeah, this objective can be really obnoxious. I think that if I'm Reborn, I just drop all the toys and just force the win that way, because this objective can be quite unpredictable with the conveyor belts. So I wouldn't take any chances.
And I love what Reborn is doing here. They rotated to mid, they got 20. They can probably just snipe this fort on the way down if they wanted to. I don't know why they wouldn't. I mean, they just need to sneeze on it, but they're not worrying about it. But they also got the Biotic Emitter, so they have 3 turrets and 2 Biotic Emitters and level 20 advantage. And the thing is, if you're Jailbait here, I don't think you cannot take this fight, because with the bottom keep open and a Triglav Protector, they can realistically win here. They're in a really rough spot. And there we go. Cocoon onto the Ana this time, and Reborn Knights is getting melted on the backside. Nubarak is the first to go, but Phantom's quickly after on the bottom side. Mosh Pit catches 2, but it's actually the conveyor belt that brings Raynor to safety. He stops dancing and runs out of there. A 2-for-1 in favor of Reborn Knights, and the way that went, as H2O is in trouble here, this is very quickly going to become a 3-for-1. I think if you're H2O, you just die here to not stagger the death.
Yeah, I actually think Jailbait had the better engage there, but it just didn't matter.
I was going to say the exact same thing. I think if there were no items involved in that team fight, I think Jailbait actually won that. They had a better engage. They got a great cocoon onto Ana, a lot of pressure on the backside. But all the advantage that Reborn has built up the whole game there came to pass. They used all the items and won the third Rock'em Sock'em robot of the game, and they are marching down the bot lane, maybe eyeballing core, question mark?
Yeah. I think they can end here. I think they just got to really power and just hit the structures.
And worth mentioning, Buried Alive is there for Leoric. So he's kind of posturing here on the flank, looking for something. They're just zoning for the Triglav. There's the Ring of Frost, doesn't catch any, but a big Entomb catches 2. Rapid forced to power slide his way out, but Core is going down fast. Shields are down. It's at 60%. There is the first full-length Holy Word Salvation we have seen this game, but it doesn't matter. That is going to be game 1 over to Reborn Knights Black.
Yeah, making kind of a statement here. You know, we had Jailbait's map here. Jailbait beat him here last season. I think Jailbait had the better draft, and Reborn Knights saying that, you know, they don't care. I think that's a pretty big statement. That was pretty dominant.
Yeah, Rabbit Penguin not showing any rust after a season away from the tank. His ETC looked great. Zul Jin had the top, actually second here most heroes damage in the game. So Reborn Knights with a couple of role swaps and a roster addition with a really quality opening match against Jailbait. And now we'll wait to see where Jailbait wants to go. Do they want that first pick? Do they want map pick? I mean, if you're Jailbait, is there something that you take away based off that first game? Is there something you don't want to see again?
So something I think they could have done a little better was eliminating the threat of the front line, right? The peels were just too strong from ETC. So I would have liked to see a cocoon on ETC and then them dive past that. So that way they can get value from the rings. The rings were going down, but ETC was just zoning way too hard to ever get value. So I think that's going to be the biggest problem. We'll see if they can fix it next game. We'll see if they even identify that as a problem. So we'll see. But that's my big takeaway from that.
All right, so still waiting to see where we'll go for game number 2. We're going to put up the BRB screen for probably about a minute, and we'll be back.
Okay.
All right, we're back. Jailbait. Fox opted to take map pick one more time, giving first pick to the Reborn Knights, and they're taking us here to Dragonshire. If they're taking a map pick, do they have something spicy up their sleeve? Because that's what it says to me.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. If I had to guess, I would just double down on what I thought about first draft. I think Diablo and Zeratul. Um, we didn't see Diablo last game, but I think that I think he has more priority here on this map. I think this is his best map by far.
Interesting. All right, so we have the R from Jailbait. I'm going to throw out the R from us. On Dragonshire, globals are always fantastic, but could also see something like a Rexar, where he's at right now, or maybe even reworked Chen, those guys that are just kind of hard to get off the points.
Yeah, I'm not sure if either team plays Rexar. I haven't really looked into that, but he can be surely oppressive on this map. A lot of people think it's just because of point domination for Rexar, but interestingly enough, he can actually he's the only offlaner that can soak and stand on point at the same time, and I think that's the real strength of Rexar right there. The other offlaner will miss soak when it gets pushed in; he has to leave point. Rexar just cheats, honestly.
So, Reborn Knights sticking with the first ban Sylvanas. They didn't see anything in that game one that changed their mind there. And now let's see Jailbait. Usually the team that came up on the short end game one is typically the one more likely to make adjustments. And there's the adjustment, Fox. No Anna in game two. They thought Anna was a problem, and I would agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, you could see the adjustment in game. Early game, they tried to do actually what you suggested, and ETC was the target of the cocoons. They tried to dive the back line, but Anna was so far back that they weren't able to get to her, so she just healed through the dive, and then ETC was burned out of the cocoon. So late game, they switched to diving past ETC and cocooning Anna, and they were having more success with that. This time, they decided rather than dive Anna, just ban. Once again, Maya ban coming out for Reborn Knights.
Yeah, sticking to the same thing. Does one of them play Maiev? Is that a target ban? Do you know?
I would assume so, as Zeratul banned one more time by Jailbait, but I'm not quite as familiar with Jailbait, so I would assume so, but I am not positive.
Okay.
All right, so first pick once again for Reborn Knights. Last time it was Anna. Of course, this time it won't. Gonna stick Rabin back on his patented ETC. We're pretty familiar with teams that highly prioritize ETC.
Yeah. I would like to see a Diablo here. I really would. I don't know if they play it. Maybe it just might be a comfort thing. I don't know, but
I like the Stukov. I can tell you ETC is not easy to play into Stukov. I'm assuming that the Stukov positions properly and doesn't let you get onto him, and sticking with the Jaina. And Galaxy was for the most part on point with that Jaina in game one, so I like that as well. With ETC already picked up, still a number of viable tanks on the board. Jailbait just kind of figuring we'll grab one of them in the next pass. There's enough available to where we don't need to worry about it. And there it is, Rexar Raynor.
Yeah.
I love the Rexar pick. Actually, I like both of those picks. It denies the Raynor pairing with the Jaina again. Raynor is always good. It's a soft counter to a Nubarak, so it could actually kind of maybe deter Jailbait from going that way if it's available. And Rexar really solid on the top lane. If I am Reborn, I'm probably thinking of banning some kind of global, perhaps. as Jailbait bans out the Tehran.
Yeah, I'm curious as to what Jailbait's answer to Rexar is going to be. Zeratul banned out. They're not going to be able to, just pick up Zeratul and rotate on him all the time. We'll see what kind of answers they have for this.
Now, I don't know if they have this tool in their toolbox, but we would occasionally run a Valera as
Sorry, you cut out.
I said I don't know if Jailbait has this in their toolbox, but occasionally we would run Valera as the answer to Rexar.
Yeah.
Especially with Zera not on the board. It has to be run the right way, and you have to get value out of rotating up there. But they're going to go with the Johanna and the Malthael.
Yeah, and for the Valera, that can work. Genji can work. Genji's really good at that as well. But Malthael into Rexar, I've heard some people say that Malthael beats Misha, and then other people say that Rexar loses to no one. I don't know how this is going to play out. It's going to be really interesting to watch.
And there it is, the patented Kerrigan played by Phantom. Back in the day, they used to pair it with Uther, actually, was what Divine 9 run. But now, running it with the Anduin, taking the best support on the board, I think. Light Bomb Kerrigan. We're going to see it, Fox.
We are, yeah, you're right. We'll see if they take Light Bomb.
I'm a betting man, and I'm going to bet it's going to be a Light Bomb on Kerrigan. Speaking of Uther, double support Stukov Uther. Uther functioning as a bruiser? Question mark? Maybe the thinking is if they can survive through the initial Kerrigan burst, they come out on the other end?
I'm a fan of double support, but I have to question it on a map like Dragonshire. You're so split all the time. You have to leave someone top. You have to be catching mid soak, and double support is not something that you want scattered all over the map. So I am skeptical about this. I like the idea, but...
Now, on the flip side of that, one of the disadvantages to double support is lack of wave clear. But when you already have Johanna Jaina, that's really not an issue either. So they did kind of cover their bases a little bit in that department.
I mean, yeah, but do you really want the Jaina rotating catch mid?
Not by herself, God no. All right, game number 2. Jailbait versus Reborn Knights Black. The blue team, Jailbait, trying to force a game number 3. We have Othen on Johanna, Fragstellar on Stukov, H2O on Uther, Obo on Malthael, and Calaxy back on Jaina.
10 seconds.
Yeah, and on Reborn's side, we have the Pie Maker. Please make me a pie, Rainer. Rabid Penguin on ETC. Anduin's going to be played by Solskito. Phantoms is going to be playing Kerrigan, and Rexar by Crafty Devil.
So, Josh Sill in chat saying Reborn is super hosed if Jailbait plays the comp right. Let's see how it rolls. They did get a hold of the Malthael. A blizzard, kind of a zoning blizzard. Kerrigan has blood in her eyes, but the Stukov a stun from Uther keeps Phantoms at bay. And skirmishing is nearly done, except for Misha goes down. And Rexar will now walk all by himself to the top lane. I like the Jailbait's aggression there. They showing no hesitation after the game 1 defeat. They really stepped into the ETC there.
Yeah, for sure. Reborn setting up for this camp really early. Jailbait doing the same. Good priority here from both teams.
Yep, both of them immediately on the bottom camp. Let's check in with top. Malthael and Misha battled out. Rexar has some popcorn and he's watching from a safe distance. Bottom camp's picked up at pretty close to the same time here. Oh, I lied. I thought they'd be closer by that, but they're not. Jaina is forced to do it the long way, and Stukov has to come over there and slap these giants with his giant tentacle arm.
Inherit the Dragon Knight's power. and lay waste to this
So Rexar is on the top lane, top point here. It will be probably a little difficult for Malthael to get him off without help, even though he himself is not really under too much of a threat. Meanwhile, bottom though, Giants getting pushed in by Jailbait because Reborn Knights have rotated onto the mid camp. They have picked up their bruisers, and now Raynor is waiting in the bush here. Malthael trying to get him to show. Now he's rotating to the aggressive side. Rexar trying to bait him in. Anduin is coming as well. They're going to push in with the spell damage. Malthael wisely backing up. But with Raynor up here, Fox, if they want to, they can definitely get some siege damage here.
Yeah, and I think this is the power of Rexar. We saw Rexar just dominate top, right? He never got off it, right? There's no contention from Malthael, which means that the rest of their team can just go get bruisers without a care in the world about Dragon. Dragon's not threatened at all by Jailbait. I mean, just take a camp and start pushing top.
Yeah, I love what Reborn is doing here. No response yet from Jailbait because they're on their own bruiser, but they're going to rip this top fountain off the map 2 minutes into the game, and that is going to make that Rexar matchup in the top lane even more difficult. They're onto this fort here, and they have it down about 25% health before finally Jailbait rotates up. I think that rotation was far too late, Fox.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, I don't know if they rotated too late, but just stopping that at the camp killed them there.
Yeah, I agree. Meanwhile, it was Johanna Stukov battling ETC Kerrigan, and it looks like that Joe Stukov got the better end of that deal there.
Malthael getting caught out top. Let's see if he dies here.
And he does. Yeah, and, you know, chat making a good point here. Jailbait is not getting counter pressure in the other lanes. They're just letting Reborn do too much of whatever they want. Finally pressuring this bottom lane. Reborn has been on the top half of the map for so long. It took them a long time to do this. Now ETC in a little bit of trouble, able to power slide just ahead of the lurking arm. Reinforcements from Reborn Knights has arrived. Ironskin coming out early. Phantoms hasn't used his combo yet. He's looking for it now. Cawthon does juke it. And a whole lot of nothing going on there.
Yeah.
There's the combo. Lands onto Jaina. She might be in trouble now. Rabid Penguin able to face melt her back. And Jaina does go down on the back of a combo by Phantoms there. Misha Rexar double soaking. It allows Malthael to get on this top point, and teams will trade the points.
Yeah, I mean, Rexar's double soaking, the kill top, all these things are really leading to, I mean, a full level lead here, and that's, we'll see if Jailbait can recover.
You know, it honestly just feels like in the early game, Reborn Knights is just a little bit faster around the map. They're faster on the camps, they're faster to push, they're faster in rotating. It just kind of feels like Jailbait's about half a step behind, honestly.
Yeah.
Johanna here all by herself for now. Here comes all members of Reborn Knights. That Iron Skin does not prevent body blocking Cawthon, and he is in trouble. A lurking arm trying to save him, but the members of Reborn, they just stand in it, eat the damage, and auto-attack Johanna to death. And now they will push in with this bottom camp one more time. Raynor shredding through these structures. And Reborn Knights really controlling the map. Combo does not land on anybody. Members of Reborn don't really care about that Blizzard because of the spell armor front wall in the bottom lane going down. And Reborn is on the verge of level 10s.
Yeah, this XP lead is getting out of control really fast.
And just Reborn here is just controlling the map so hard. But now is a big engage. That's a huge condemn and a punish. Counter there by Rabid Penguin. Double support is coming into effect, but with level 10s coming up any minute, I like what Jailbait tried to do there. They tried to force something out just before level 10s, and they did. Almost got it, but not quite there. And the heroics on the board for Reborn Knights. It's going to be Jimmy Jr., Mosh Pit, Ultralisk, Bestial Wrath, Anduin not showing, but it's gotta be Light Bomb with a Kerrigan and an ETC, right?
Yeah, I really think it should be. They have the engage. It's not like you're playing with like, I don't know, an Arthas or or like an Arthas, say, where you don't have any engage. They have the dive for Light Bomb.
And Anduin's still not showing. A big silence into a blizzard there. Well played by Jailbait, despite being down there. They actually got initiated onto there with heroics and came out probably a little bit ahead, Fox. Turns out Lurking Arm into Blizzard hurts a lot. Anduin's still not showing. Level 10's not quite here for Jailbait. They're begging for him now, but it is Holy Word Salvation used at a great time there. Cawthon will go down. Good Lurking Arm. Ultralisk going in on to Malthael, but the D-Shield keeps him up. Now trying to re-engage into Reborn Knights. Double Power Slide catches 2, as does the Kerrigan combo. Kobo is in trouble. Off-screen, Rexar actually grabbed the DK. That's a 2-for-0 and a Dragon Knight for Reborn Knights, and that is back-to-back Holy Word Salvation games from 2 different teams, Fox.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he got value there. They didn't interrupt it, and that totally saved Raynor's life, so it's hard to argue with that. Just going to be whether they can get value out of it every single time. It definitely has the potential to be stronger, though.
Yeah, I mean, but Johanna is just like a walking interrupt for it. Uther can interrupt it. Stukov can interrupt it. So far, a 1-for-1. We'll see how it rolls. I really just wanted to see Phantoms get a Light Bomb put out them as a YOLO'd into their team. That would have been something special to watch.
Yeah.
Speaking of YOLOing in, there's a big Ring of Frost. Catches at least 2. Highmaker Raynor goes down. Massive Shove takes ETC out of this, and now they're wailing on Kerrigan. Down she goes. Big moment here for Jailbait. So far, a 2-for-1. Lurking Arm holding Anduin and ETC in a rough spot. Anduin is going to go down. There he goes. Ultralisk still fighting despite Kerrigan being down. And this is the biggest moment we've seen for Jailbait here this whole series, Fox. 3-for-1. Big initiation there on the back of the Dragon Knight falling.
Yeah, I was going to be really sad if they didn't get some kills there. The setup by Jaina was just spectacular.
Rabin Penguin just buying some time here. He will not go quietly into the night. There he goes. But he bought a lot of time. I mean, Jailbait spent a lot of resources and time running him down.
Yeah, they really did. I would have liked to see... I mean, that is a big stagger, but at the same time, that's a lot of time that Jailbait's not taking camps and pushing waves out.
You know, and Jason making a good point. I didn't even bring up Lurking Arm as like a huge ranged Holy Word Salvation counter. I talked about Johanna and Massive Shove, but Lurking Arm. I think they got value out of it the first time, mainly because of the surprise factor. So a big moment there for Jailbait, really evening up this game. Letting them push in top. If Reborn wants it, they can pretty much rip that top fort for free.
Yeah, not taking momentum back necessarily. Reborn is still ahead in structures. They're ahead in XP, but definitely opening up the door for a comeback here.
Yeah, and actually the game feels like it's a little more like momentum changed jerseys. A big initiation. Kerrigan and ETC going in hard, but once again, Ring of Frost, Lurking Arm, Kerrigan, ETC absolutely exploded, Fox.
Yeah, this Galaxy is tearing it up on Jaina.
And you know, this is one of the first times I've questioned the decision-making here by Reborn this series, but they were a little too aggressive. 5v4 with Rexar on the complete other side of the map. Really gave Jailbait an opportunity there.
Yeah.
I think that may have been their first big macro misplay in this game, was taking that 5v4 there, and they really paid for it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So Johanna is anchoring this bottom point by herself, 2v1. She can do that for a little bit. Jailbait is setting up Sending Malthael to channel. He will. Johanna, did she buy enough time? It's going to be close, and she did. Great play by Cawthon, knowing exactly how much time he needed. Uther caught out a little bit, but he just says, eat this stun, Kerrigan. I'm going to stand in this lurking arm, and there's nothing you can do about it. Jaina has to come... Yeah, didn't use it. That's a mistake, too. Dying with the D-shield on cooldown. But DK is up without an Uther. Let's see how much value they get. So definitely Jailbait playing a little more passive here with that Kerrigan, Rexar, Kerrigan, Uther. There it is again, the Ring of Frost lurking arm is so huge. This time, Holy Word Salvation gets value. But no kills from either side. Meanwhile, DK just having a grand old time wailing on that mid fort. Cawthon, power slid into by ETC, but Johanna don't care about that. That pick on Uther is so unfortunate. It really stunted what Jailbait could do with this Dragon Knight. They kind of just forced to move it around the map, get value where they could, and that ended up being most of a fort mid and some towers, basically. Leap of Faith pulls Kerrigan to safety. There's the counter engage. Iron Skin coming out for Johanna will allow her to be safe, or will it? Combo from Phantoms lands onto Jaina, uses the ice block. Both teams are here in their entirety. This time, D-Shield goes out to keep Jaina up, used defensively. Malthael going down. Cawthon, Iron Skin is on cooldown now. H2O on Uther. He is going to go down. 2 more kills for Reborn, as it feels like they're starting to take back control of this game after a couple of hiccups.
Yeah, honestly, Jailbait just getting caught out. That's the bottom line. I know Uther, you can feel invincible, but sometimes you're really not. You really want to save, you know, you want to save your cooldowns for not yourself. And then Jaina there getting caught out. Like, they just got to stay behind Johanna, I think.
Yeah, a couple of overstays to be sure. Now Reborn, same talent here, really trying to step in on this. They do catch Johanna, but she really shouldn't care about that with Iron Skin she has up, and she does. ETC rooted in the lurking arm, forced to walk out. But Reborn is really pushing this in hard. Massive shove sends Misha back to the other side of the lane. Malthael is here now. Full defense for Jailbait. Reborn is hanging around, but decided maybe discretion is the better part of valor, and they walk away. Cawthon is looking for that blessed shield. You can see he knows Raynor is right at the edge of range. Is able to mount up, but there's a bush party waiting. Malthael not here. Johanna might smell something funny, and she did. Flashlight onto the bush, sniffed out the rabid penguin. Bush party there. Now he's by himself. And despite how this game went, Jailbait right in it. They are going to have to deal with top, though. Actually, I lied. Malthael got the camp. That will deal with top for now. Malthael not here. Numbers advantage to Reborn Knights. Johanna, early Iron Skin, but Ring of Frost catching Misha on ETC, and then a lurking arm on top of it. But this time, Phantom said, no, Stukov, you stop that now, and Jailbait's in trouble. D-Shield onto the Malthael, allowing him to do some damage, but it has expired now, and a counter engage of one far mosh pit from ETC. They actually get the Malthael while ETC was wreaking havoc on the backline. He had a 2-person mosh that was interrupted by Stukov, but Rabid Penguin held the backline far enough away from Malthael that Reborn was able to secure the kill.
Yeah, Calaxy might be getting a little antsy now. I think his rings have been fantastic, but they're coming out a little early, especially when no one is really around to capitalize on it.
Now 5v4, Rexar came back down when Jailbait stepped into here. They do catch Johanna, massive shove, pushes Rabid Penguin away. Kerrigan being aggro though, catches the Stukov, now jumps back onto Johanna. Ragdoll effect sends her into the bushes here where the spectators watch from the sidelines. And a staggered death for Jailbait.
I like this here. They're gonna go for the dragon, but in the meantime, they're also gonna be grabbing this bottom camp. Hopefully, they can. They should be looking to be able to push the dragon with this camp. It'll be quite powerful and possibly end the game.
So, Reborn Knights here. They are set up to channel the DK. Kerrigan will be in there. The minions are interrupting it for now, though, so they got to get rid of those little guys or channel the aggro, and they do. I assume they're going to take this in the bottom lane where the bruisers are already pushing, and they have at least a keep in their sights. The level 20s are here for Reborn Knights. The bottom keep for Jailbait has fallen. Worth noting, Rabid Penguin went death metal. Always got to check those ETC level 20s. Now on to core. Shields are still up. It is very strong, and this DK is on the verge of expiring. There it goes, Fox. Core shield still at 100%, but Reborn Knights still wants this. You can see how aggressively Rabid Penguin is posturing. He almost wants to suicide for that death mosh, but shields are going down now. Rexar was auto-attacking it on the backside. Now Reborn Knights going back to Arcot. Leap of Faith pulls ETC to safety. Not so much Misha, though. Now they are running. Jailbait trying to catch anybody. This could be an over pursuit if they keep going, though. With a Kerrigan ETC, they can easily turn this. The dismount's coming out by Rabid. Power slides away from the Malthael, but Uther catches him with a stun. Leap of Faith one more time. And this is just like a cartoon-style chase across the bottom lane here.
Yeah, it is. Jailbait doing a really good job defending, realizing that if they just don't die, Reborn can't end the game, and they really didn't take any hard engage down at bottom. And solid defense.
Yeah, and I think if you're Reborn, you hold them here. Look at this. And this keep is going to go down fast. I kind of wanted to see Reborn prevent the Hearths if they could have. Malthael showing in the top lane, now going to invade the Giants. Great awareness there. He is in power slide range. This camp is not...
But look at bottom. Look at the camp. Malthael not being there, so Reborn Knights taking the opportunity to look for a fight.
100%.
Unfortunately, they only get the invade.
Big Ring of Frost catches 3, but no other follow-up, so it ends up being a defensive Ring of Frost there. But for Jailbait, fortunately, level 20s are very close. Don't go that way, Phantoms. There's a fort there. Pathing. The level 20s for both sides. The Ring of Frost upgrade from Jaina. Interesting. Oh, big flank here by Reborn. I don't think... Malthael's on the backside, but they were sniffed out between Malthael almost running into them, but a split engagement here. Big combo catches only Johanna, then she dives past onto Jaina, really going hard, but Uther doing a nice job of peeling for his backliner. Kerrigan is just jumping all over the place. Mosh Pit catches 4. Fox, this has to be the beginning of the end, I think. For Jailbait here, Stukov going to go down, and he does. That is 2. Actually 3 kills, but Malthael did have the spawn up. That was a 4-man mosh pit. Rabid Penguin flexing his ETC muscles.
Yeah. The cow muscles are big. And it looks like Reborn, they're going to for sure get this dragon here. Looks like they're going to put Kerrigan in it again. We'll see if they can... If Jailbait will be up in time for a defense.
I mean, basically a minute 21 BK right on the core. Also, with this camp.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of pressure. I like what Jailbait did to grab the Bruiser camp in the meantime. If they do manage to defend, that'll at least keep their top keep up, because there wasn't really much else they could do anyway. Mm-hmm. But this is 2 Katas, a Bruiser camp, a full team, and a DK. But Jailbait will have all 5 members up, so...
If Jailbait locks down one person here and gets a kill, the game's over no matter what. It might be over no matter what.
I think it kind of is.
The
I mean, look
dragon
at
is too strong.
Yeah. 50% on the core. Ring of Frost does catch a couple, but it's not going to matter. That is going to be, Fox, a 2-0 victory for Reborn Knights Black. Phantoms making a triumphant return to Division B and to the NG.
Yeah, Reborn Knights really dominated there. I think their draft in game 2 was far superior. In on another map, I think Jailbait's draft could have been good, but I just don't see it happening on Dragonshire.
Yeah, I agree.
Both teams played fantastic, though. You know, Jailbait, got to give it up to them. They were no, they were no pushovers. I just got to say,
Well, I actually think, from what I saw, I don't think mechanically too much separated these teams. I really think the difference was some rotational mistakes and overstays from Jailbait. They just got caught out one too many times, and Reborn was able to punish them for them. I think they stood toe to toe with them mechanically. I just think Reborn was a little cleaner on the rotations and didn't overstay quite as much. Yeah. But a great debut here for my pick, actually, on Nexus Edge. Win be Reborn Knights Black. Normally, I would say we're going to do an interview, but this game started an hour later, and we have scrims, so we're not going to do that. We're just going to say congrats to Reborn Knights Black on the 2-0. Foxy, any shout-outs before we sign off here?
Nope.
All right. Short and sweet. All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out on my opening cast of NGS Season 7. We will actually both be back on Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, for my next cast, who I forget playing. But either way, it'll be here. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening, a fantastic NGS Season 7.